What's up everyone? Welcome back to Android Tips, and in this video I'm going to talk about how to have the best optimization guide for the First Descendant game, which is right now trending, and many users is having this question, so we're going to talk about how we can have this. So right now, as you can see, that I'm having a little bit of lag sometimes, and I was been going through a kind of a small research on this. So right now I want to share you some of the possible optimization that can be on a game. So the first one, let me go over here, let me pause the game, and I have to navigate to the options over here. So I'll be navigating to the options, and the first one over here in the graphics, I have to make few changes. So the first one is all about, as you can see, the first one, I have to make sure the ray tracing, this should be turned off. So we have many options, like you can keep this to medium, high, ultra. So you have to keep this off. That is what you have to as the first step, because the ray tracing should be turned off for the best performance. And moving to the next one, that is all about the VSync. Right now, as you can see, this is being turned on. So this is why for the users who are having a lag a little bit at the first time when they're launching the game, if the VSync is turned on, what you need to do is we just need to turn this off. So what I did is, as you can see, the first one in the beginning, as you can see, there is a small lag right now on my cursor when I'm trying to point out something, but when I turn off the VSync, it is actually working fine. So this is the very important when it comes to when you turn off the VSync, this is how you can see the changes. So it is quite important that you have to turn off the VSync. The next one is all about, we have to go over here in the maximum frame rate. Right, so as you can see, the maximum frame rate is actually the 16. So we have options like unlimited, 13, 14, 95, 120 and 144. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this to unlimited. So once I do this, I'm going to do this to the unlimited, and once the one unlimited is done, right now as you can see, I've been sent this to unlimited, and this has been set into the maximum frame rate is been set into unlimited as well. So once afterwards, we just need to move to the next one. That is all about, we have to go to the motion blur. So rest things can be kept completely, it can be completely kept same. Then we just need to keep scrolling down, and we need to navigate to the motion blur right now, as you can see. So the motion blur is actually turned on. We have to turn this off. So right now, actually, after turning the motion blur off, what you need to do is we just need to go back. And as you can see, make sure that you have made all these changes. So these kind of changes is actually for the motion blur and FPS. Those who are having the issue with these, they can try this out. The next one, we need to move to the keyboard and mouse is over here at the top. So right now over here in the keyboard and mouse, as you can see, we are having the first one, but we need to make a change on the normal sensitivity, and we have to make on the aim sensitivity. So right now, as you can see, this has been by default, this is 34 as well as this is 34 as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the aim sensitivity, or I'm going to lower this up to, I'm going to change this to 20, because that's going to help you guys out. For me, it worked literally very good, because when you're trying to aim something out your opponent, it all worked fine for me. So I'm going to set this to 20, or if you're having a trouble with after settings to 20, you can keep this to default 34. That's what you have to do over here. And move to the next one. After setting this up, what you need to do is we just need to go back to the graphics over here, and we need to make a few more changing. It's all about upscaling. So regarding the upscaling, what I'm going to do is, as you can see under the performance tab, you can see there is an option called additional performance right now. So over here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this to, actually this has been turned off, because it is actually only for if you're using this for upscaling options. If you're trying to do an upscaling, you can make this out. So over here, as you can see, when I go over here, there is many things written over here: NVIDIA DLS, AMD FSR, Intel XSS, and Epic Game TCR. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this one. So you can go to the NVIDIA, AMD, Intel, Epic Games. So right now on my PC, it is actually NVIDIA, so I'm going to select the NVIDIA. But even though the users, if they are not having NVIDIA, they can also keep into AMD, and also they can try playing the game. There is no issue with it. You can go with AMD as well. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go for NVIDIA. And once afterwards, the first one is all about the DLSS, because as you can see, DLSS has been set into quality. But as you can see over here, we have options like DLAA, which has been what I have to say. The DLA is actually okay. You can set this to DLL if you wanted to, but you have to keep in mind. But what I'm recommending you can try this if you're having a good spec PC or a CPU, that you can keep this up. But I'm recommending for the better performance, I'm always recommending you can go for the quality. That is what I'm recommending. For the quality, what I'm trying to do is it's actually for the better performance, and it is having low resolution, and it is having good performance as well. So what I'm trying to do is the users who are having a mid range of PCs and configurations, they can keep this to the quality, but the users who are having the high configurations, they can keep to the DLA. But even though I'm recommending, you can go for quality as well. The next one is regarding the NVIDIA reflex latency over here. So this is actually turn it off. So in most cases, what I'm trying to do is I'm going to enable this, or you can go for enable boost as well. So it's all up to you. You can keep this off or on, but I'm trying to keep this on. If you're on the medium spec, you can go for enable boost. If you're on, for example, what I'm trying to say, if you're on a lower end PC, I'm asking you to keep this to enable boost. But if you're on the higher end or a medium on a good graphics card, what I'm trying to say, you have to keep this on. And then comes the next one, which is called the frame generations and ray construction. So this plays a very important role. So the frame generations is actually, if this turn it on, so what it's going to do is, if you turn on the frame generation, what it's going to do is, it is going to make a change for the FPS. For example, if your FPS is 16 FPS, that's going to help you guys out to double the FPS at the maximum spec, so that the game will be much smoother. And if you come to the ray constructions, which is all about set, it is all about, there is no, lagging and all those things that can be fixed using this. But also, as you can see, you can also keep this to, what I'm trying to say, you can keep this to AMD. When you keep this to the NVIDIA, it is not going to happen because, this is actually grayed out. But when you keep this to the AMD, as you can see, even though you can keep this to AMD if you're having the NVIDIA configurations, and over here you can set this. So right now, as you can see, the frame generation is actually turn it on. That's what I'm trying to do, and I'm trying to turn it on. And also what I'm trying to do is after turning on the frame generations, the next one is all about the maximum frame rate, but I can set this to this one. So I can do this according to my configuration. So I'll keep this to unlimited, or I'll keep to 16. So it's all based on the basis configuration. So if your PC is a little bit a lowered one, you have to do it according to 60 or something. If it is having high spec and all those things, you can keep this to the unlimited. Moving to the next one is all about the advanced settings. So I'll go over here in the advanced setting, but what I'm recommending you can keep in the advanced settings, everything can be kept to low. That is most probably that's gonna help you guys out, because visibility can be kept to a low, anti-aliasing can be kept into low, post-processing can be kept into low, shadows can be kept into low, global illuminations can be kept into, reflections can be kept into low, textures can be kept into low, everything can be left into low. But even though after trying with this, even if you're facing this up, you can also make a change, which I'm recommending guys out, because if you're having a good configuration, for example, what you have to say, for example, if you're having a VRAM of 8 GB, which means, you're having a VRAM of 8 GB or more, you can keep this to little bit changes can be done, not keeping this low. The first one, what I'm recommending you, if you go over here in the anti-aliasing, you can keep this anti-aliasing to the medium. That's what I'm recommending. That's going to help you guys out. And moving to the next one is all about the textures over here. You can keep the textures to the high. Over here, you can keep the textures to the high. And the effects over here, you can keep this to the medium. So these effects can be kept into the medium. And these changes is quite important. You can keep this to the medium. So this can be kept into the medium, and that can also be done. And moving to the next one, apart from this, if you go over here, you can navigate to the display. And in the display, as you can see, the first one, the display mode is actually being set into borderless mode. You have to change this to the full screen, which is very important. That is very important. So you have to keep this to full screen should be kept, because that is why you will be having a great performance. So always try to keep the the borderless windows can be kept into full screen. That is why I'm recommending you can keep to change to the full screen. So that's what you have to do. Just make the full screen, and once after the full screen is being successfully done, so it is all according to your configurations. So what you need to do is just keep it on the full screen, and once after, regarding the resolutions, that it can be kept according to your monitor's resolution. So if it is 1920 and 1080, you have to keep it the same. Regarding the screen, HD display and also can be done according to your configurations, but that is fine. You can do it accordingly. And for the field of view, that can be depth, so you can do it according to it's because it's actually 90. So what I'm recommending is, if you're having a ultra wide monitors, I'm recommending you guys can keep this to around 85 or something. But if you're having a higher one, for example, not the ultra wide, you can keep this to anywhere that you need. And regarding the sharpness is fine with it, and that can also be done. So last one that I would like to make you notice is that you have to make a few things that over here in the gameplay, if you go to the gameplay, you can see that over here in the gameplay, if you scroll down, you can see there is an option called select a grappling hook correction guide. So right now, which is happening for many of the users right now. So you can change this to a visible one. For example, you can either keep to this one or you can keep to this one, because this should be visible or else you'll be having the trouble up. So that is what you have to do regarding the configurations. And these are some of the best configurations that can be done. And once afterwards, you can still try playing the game with all the FPS and everything. So it's all depends upon your configurations. So as you can see right now, I have made a few changes over here. So that is why we are having these kind of things. But we can also try this out. This is actually for the best optimization guide for both for the mid kind of configuration PCs as well as for the high. But even you can make the tweak changes over here according to these are my suggestions. But sometimes, some people might like, the FPS has to be higher, or they might need a little bit of changes in the, lightning and all those things. So that can be done from their end as well. So these kind of changes can be made. And I hope this video is helpful. And if you find this video helpful, don't forget to subscribe and click on the bell icon for more notification. See you soon in the next video. Peace out. Bye bye.